For analysis, let's go now to Mohammad Ali. He is a non-resident scholar at the Middle East Institute and lecturer at Johns Hopkins University. Mohammad, thank you for joining us today on the program. Among the security personnel that were killed, civilians were also killed. Were these civilians deliberately targeted and why?
Seems to be because the Baloch insurgents, they've been fighting this uphill battle, and they wanted to send a message to the Punjabis, because the Punjabis being the majority in terms of the population and in terms of the control over the assets of the state, and in restive provinces like Balochistan in particular, the Punjabis are considered hegemonic. And this is a message, to ordinary poor laborers, workers that don't come into Balochistan, under these lopsided economic schemes, and exploit the natural resources of Balochistan and leaving Balochistan neglected and marginalized. So it's a message for the security forces and also for ordinary sort of laborers, in this particularly brutal attack.
And there are a lot of migrant groups working in the region. I believe some China-led projects too. Do we know much about the backgrounds of some of these migrant workers?
The Punjabis in particular, and these are because that's been one of the bones of contention, and it goes back prior to the China-Pakistan economic corridor. This restiveness, it goes back decades, and the Pakistani state already lost Bangladesh, East Pakistan, because of this kind of disgruntlement between those two portions of Pakistan, which were divided by India in the middle. Balochistan is a part of Pakistan, the largest part of Pakistan, the largest province of Pakistan, but the disgruntlement has been brewing, and the economic model that has been adopted under CPEC as well, which links Xinjiang, and the Uyghur province there to the Baloch and Balochistan, the Gwadar deep sea port. And the model of CPEC has been implemented in such a way that the locals have not seen many of the benefits, and it has exacerbated their sense of disgruntlement.
So talk more about the specific group that's claimed responsibility. I believe it's the BLA. What are these grievances? You've mentioned sort of overall around, the disparity between resources, some of these international firms not sharing the funds that come from these projects. And if these groups have been simmering for some time, how has the government not been able to tackle such violent crimes like this?
Well, the government's tried to fight fire with fire. It is complex, and one doesn't want to simplify, because the tribal chiefs in the area, one of them was killed by General Musharraf when he was, military government running Pakistan back in 2006. And Monday's attack was the 16th or 18th death anniversary of this tribal chief. And the Pakistani state says that we do give money to Balochistan, but the tribal chiefs eat it up. The tribal chiefs have their own position, and they feel, the copper, the gold now, and the copper, it's always been very rich in natural resources. It was gas prior to this, which has been going to the rest of the country, and Balochistan itself doesn't have, Sui, where the gas comes from. Sui doesn't have gas. So they've had this lingering disgruntlement, and the CPEC model has not, helped. And the BLA, the Balochistan Liberation Army, is one of those restive groups which says it's fed up. It wants to succeed from Pakistan, and the Pakistani state feels that India is supporting this group and, in trying to fester greater restiveness, within the country.
Just finally, what do you think the government needs to do to take on some of these more violent narratives?
I think the government really needs to realize that it should not try and fight fire with fire. There have been many attempts, but they've been lackluster. And now, it's trying to assure the Chinese workers that they'll be provided security, but that's very difficult in such a large, sparsely populated province. And what it needs to do is provide them more sort of an equitable formula, and these larger international development projects like CPEC also need to do the same, to be more participatory, to have more local ownership.
All right, we'll leave
to quell this restiveness.
My apologies. I thought you were ending there. We will leave it there for the time being. Mohammad Ali, appreciate your time.